Hi, this is Matthew here to talk about the latest Beach Boys album up to this point from 2012. Was the last one that they've done so far, and of course the last one with Brian Wilson because he just died last year, so he obviously can't make any more. Mike Love and Al Jardine could. Bruce Johnson is still around, and David Marks was on this one too. Back from '63, he hasn't been on an album in many years, but he's on this one. David Marks is. And yeah, they got together to reunite for the 50th anniversary of the band back then. It's 60 now, but it was 50. 62, I guess now. Years ago, since they started. But yeah, they had some leftover tracks. Brian was full producer on this one. And it seems to me, it's a very unified effort. Sounds really good. Some great songs on here, all originals. Some things were from other things, some were brand new compositions. Yeah, very good effort, I thought. If this is the final one, then it would be a good way to go out. I don't know if they'll make any more or not. Hopefully they put all their stuff aside and said, hey, let's make an album. Life's short and everything. We'll see. I don't know, but I enjoyed it anyway. Like most things, I find good in stuff. So we'll go through it. It's called That's Why God Made the Radio is the name of the album. It's the very latest one. There was a 50th anniversary DVD released also. You can go find of the show, so edited down performance and things like that. We'll be listening for what Wikipedia calls the compact disc and web release. We have the following. Starts with Think About the Days, which is just kind of a harmony thing, more or less. Brian Wilson and Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas is the guy who helped produce it. I think he helped produce Brian's Imagination album back in '98, which is really good. I recommend Imagination. I enjoyed that as a high school kid. And yeah, it just says vocals for all. Yeah, it just says all. But basically, this album is just kind of a guy driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, kind of remembering his life as he's about to hit 70, basically. Kind of like it's kind of what most of this album is about, just his recollections of things and just his thoughts and stuff as he's driving along the Pacific Coast Highway in near LA, or in that part of LA, in California, that's in Southern California there. Then our second track is That's Why God Made the Radio, which is really good, by the way. It was a single. Brian Wilson, Thomas, it was a good Pedrick. And then Brian Wilson, Al Jardine, and Thrift, Bruce Johnson, and Mike Love. Yeah, everybody is double vocaled all the time. Everyone is double vocal through the entire album, by the way. It sounds cool in stereo. On every track, everyone's double vocaled. Isn't It Time? Brian Wilson and Thomas, Mills and Pedrick. Brian Wilson, Johnson, and Brian Wilson, Al Jardine, Love, and that Foskett guy. And then Spring Vacation is Brian Wilson and Love and Thomas. And Love, Johnson, and Mike Love, Bruce Johnson, and Brian Wilson are on vocals here. And then The Private Life of Bill and Sue, it's about reality stars and their rise and fall. And the thing ends with them like disappearing on a boat or something, and like they'd been in decline. There's like a news report at the end of the of the song. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess we'll see who the newsreader is later. That is by Wilson Thomas. It being Brian Wilson, of course. She's the only Wilson left, unfortunately. And then Brian Wilson and that Foskett guy do the vocals here. Then we jump to Shelter, which is a Brian Wilson and Thomas track they wrote, and Brian Wilson and Foskett sing it. His name is Foskett. I'm not sure how you pronounce that guy's last name. Daybreak Over the Ocean is Mike Love wrote it, and he sings it. Then Beaches in Mind is Brian Wilson, Love, and Thomas with Mike Love on the vocals. Strange World is Brian Wilson and Thomas wrote it, and Brian Wilson. And then From There to Back Again, Brian Wilson and Thomas with Jardine, Al Jardine and Brian Wilson are the singing voices here. And then we have Pacific Coast Highway as Brian Wilson and Thomas with Brian Wilson and Foskett. And then we end with Summer's Gone, Brian Wilson, John Bon Jovi, and Thomas. Yeah, isn't that cool? John Bon Jovi from Bon Jovi helped write some of this, with Brian Wilson on vocals. And that is the vinyl release. Let's see what that's like. Side 1 goes all the way to probably to side 6, probably to 5, probably. No, it goes to 6. And then side 2, it goes from there. It goes all the way. Okay, nothing additional on the vinyl. Just, the side breaks with track 6, and then it continues with side 7 on side 2, with track 7 on side 2. Our bonus tracks, though, we have for the Japanese edition. They got the 2012 version of Do It Again that they recorded, which I've not heard. Yeah, that's the same as it was last time, just older. But there was a 50th Anniversary Collection Reader's Digest Remastered Edition. How do you find that? It's a deluxe edition. How do you find that collection? Wow. Oh, okay, this was that collection. Has Wouldn't It Be Nice on it. Surfing USA. Good Vibrations. I Get Around. Sloop John B. Rock and Roll Music. Jumps to that. Surfer Girl. Do You Want to Dance? Surfing Safari. God Only Knows. Little Honda. It's Okay. California Dreamin'. Wow, okay. Disney Girls 1957. Then I Kissed Her. Where Do Fools Fall in Love? You're So Good to Me, and then Let 'Em Run Wild. Help Me Rhonda. Barbara Ann. I think this is the 50th anniversary collection that came out after this album. I think it's what this is. But obviously Reader's Digest got some kind of expanded edition. Does anybody have that? I wouldn't mind getting a copy. Just saying. California Girls. Fun. Be True to Your School. Doesn't say which one. No, it does not. Dance, Dance, Dance. Again. Do It Again. Heroes and Villains. Little Deuce Coupe. Catch a Wave. 409. Man, I wish this wasn't so haphazardly arranged. I would rather it be in chronological order. If it's an anniversary collection, to me it should be in chronological order, but that's just me. Vegetables. All this is that. It's just, we're down to number 31. There's no listings of discs or anything that I can tell. Until I die. Cool water. And then don't go near the water. Wonderful. You're welcome. And our personnel. That's not a bad set, though. Interesting. There's stuff that to me shouldn't be omitted, but it was. Our personnel, though, for this album, we have Outro Dean on vocals and a whistle. From There to Back Again, he does a whistle. Bruce Johnson on vocals, Mike Love on vocals, David Marks is back on guitar, harmony, and backing vocals, just only on That's When God Made the Radio, it sounds like. Ben Wilson on vocals. Additional people we have this time. Let's see who we have. Jeffrey Voskett, backing vocals, acoustic guitar, and snaps. He's on all vocals on all the songs, it looks like. Adrian Baker on vocals, Christian Love on vocals. I assume it's related to Mike Love, I would assume. Oh, also with after Carl Wilson died, their mom also died too. Back in '98, just as another reference point. Haley Love on vocals. I bet she's related to Mike Love too. I don't know if that's his kids or what exactly. Skip Masters. Oh, he's the radio voiceover guy in that one song. The Bob and Sue song is a guy named Skip Masters. Okay. I don't know him. Jeff Baxter, electric guitar. Tom Bukovac, electric guitar and acoustic guitar. Jim Riley, electric guitar. Nick Rowe, electric guitar. Scott Totten, electric guitar, acoustic guitar. Nick Walesko, electric guitar. Robin Gregory, acoustic guitar, and a banjo and a French horn. Yeah, there's a French horn. It's kind of cool. In there. Michael Rhodes on bass. Larry Mills on bass. I think it's Millis or something. Brett Simons on bass. Cliff Hugo on bass. Joe Thomas piano and harpsichord and an organ, attack piano and snaps. John Hobbs piano and tack piano. Scott Bennett organ and clavinet and vibes. Doreen Sahanaja, something like that, vibes. Paul Foreso keyboards and percussion. Gary Griffin accordion. Yeah, there's an accordion somewhere in there. Ted Cromwell on drums. John Cowsill on drums and snaps. Is he related to the Cowsills? That did like Hair and Good Morning Starshine and the Random Park, other things. I'm not sure if that's the same Cowsills or not. Curtis Square drums. Eddie Bayers drums. Nelson Brack percussion. Jessica Bish is on snaps. Jim Pedrick ukulele and percussion. Pop Van Mertens is a baritone saxophone and string arrangements and flute. Yeah, there's plenty of that in places. Joe Durrell and Sherry Jackson. Wow, a bunch of people on violins. It's hard to read without having a braille display. So I'm not going to try to get all those names in there, unfortunately. And a bunch of people on cellos. David Stone on double bass. Chris Blith on oboe. Recording people we have this time. Brian Wilson, producer and arranger, of course. Mike Love, executive producer. That's correct. That's what it said in the article for Wikipedia anyway. Joe Thomas recording. Yeah, he recorded everything because, like, you know, Brian's like, well, I'm not going to tell him, like, he knows more about this than I do. The stuff has changed. I'm just going to let him do his thing. And he let Brian Wilson do the arrangements, and he was in control of the sessions, but he did the recording and got all the mics and everything going, and, you know, Pro Tools and all the little things that you can do now that he might not know quite much about, but he got this guy to help him out. Bob Foreso, producer and recording. Foreso, I'm not sure. Paul Foreso is that guy's name? Something like that. Vic Papalotta, recording, mixing engineer. Michael Cheswich, additional engineering. Wesley M. Seedman, additional engineering. Larry Mills also did some additional engineering work besides playing some stuff. Tom Gordon, Industrial Engineering. Bob Ludwig, Mastering. He's been on other things for them, I believe, and probably other bands. The artwork is Lawrence Azaret, graphic design, Guy Webster photography, and that is it. But I think if this is their final album, since it's been 14 years since they've done anything else, if this is really it, then I think it's a good effort and a good one to go out on if it is indeed their last one. Well, I guess time will tell if they're able to make anything else. I don't know if they're really touring right now. I'm not positive on that. I think they might be. I don't know who's with them or who's there. They're approaching their 80s now. So I don't know who's what they're doing for sure. Other bands have had other new members come and go. Some bands don't even have the same original people in them at all. So the fact that they've got a few originals is still pretty good. Other bands like Chicago that I'm going to do next, there's a few originals, but I think they've all retired or aren't playing due to health reasons. So that's mostly a new band there. I saw Blood, Sweat, and Tears. There was nobody original in that band. There was no one left, I don't think, from that original band at all. Like Three Dog Night, there's been a couple. I think Atlanta Rhythm Section, there are some, but you'll see some bands like this, and there's nobody left. They're still really good, but like there's nobody original left in it. But Beach Boys still have some. But yeah, that is everything studio-wise up to this point, because they haven't had anything since that I know about. So nothing I can stream. I've heard nothing else anywhere about anything new coming out at all. So perhaps they've decided just to kind of retire or just to kind of see what happens, and maybe they feel like doing something, maybe they don't. Maybe they just go tour and play. I'm not sure, but I think they're still a touring band as far as I know. That with Brian gone, I'm not sure who was touring anyway. I don't know. I don't think I saw Brian Wilson. I'm pretty sure I didn't see Carl, because Carl would have had cancer. I know Mike Love was for sure there. Probably Al Jardine, maybe Bruce Johnston back in 97. I don't know who I saw, because I have no way of finding that out very easily. Same with Chicago. I kind of know who was in Chicago just because they did stuff around when I saw them with the Beach Boys. Hammond Student Center in 97. If anybody can find that somewhere and I can read it, that'd be great. If anyone knows the other times the Beach Boys were in the area, I'd love to see like what they played, where it was, when it was. Maybe who was on that tour. If anyone can find that'd be great. I'd love to know. I know they've been around here, been in the area many times in my lifetime. Probably before that. But yeah, that's the Beach Boys up to the moment anyway. Minus Chicago, I can go to at least 2022. But I will hit them next. But that is all of the Beach Boys stuff up to right now as of February 5th of 2026. That is the latest album. That is a studio album they've released. There's been some box sets, some compilations. Obviously, that Brother Years is coming out in a couple of weeks. I don't know if I'll at least I want to check out some of those covers. I don't know if I will review it or not, but there's some covers I want to hear them from those years. So we've got a groove. It's called at February 15th, I believe. So you might check that in a couple of weeks here. I'll go look at it. Some of it might be up on Apple Music already, but there are some rock and roll covers I want to listen to from it. At least besides, obviously the albums are there, but there's a bunch of outtakes and stuff. So, but that would be the most recent thing that's just about to come out as of this recording. So, I will probably go look through that just to find those covers that I know I had talked about at the time when we were into that section of the band. So, But I think that will do it for now. We will leave them here since we can't go any further. Maybe they'll put something out at some point. Maybe I can review it again. I don't know. But if not, then this is a nice one to go out on. It was really good. It's got to number 3 here, 15 in the UK, and I think 15 in Canada. So this was a really, 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 people really liked this one. It sold well. I think there's good reviews on it. And I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And that's what got me the radio. It was really, really a good song. I need to send it to a couple of people. Go, hey, check this out. I might do that. But I think that'll do it now for now, and I will see you guys in another video.